Everybody, there's a lot of speculation regarding the future of Jameis Winston with the New York Giants already, and he literally just got there. That's because Derek Carr announced his retirement from football and the Saints. But there are some who believe that Jameis Winston, because of that, is on his way to the Saints and the odd man out, the odd quarterback out, with the New York Giants. This is Jameis Winston meeting the Giants' first round pick Jackson Dart 2 days ago. But is that really the case? What is it? First, let me explain this photograph. Jackson Dart and Jameis Winston are teammates. However, before Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback, even officially met Jameis, he said that the one person he was looking forward to meeting and the one person that he always wanted to practice with even before he was looking forward to meeting him was Jameis Winston because he likes the way he grinds. And so now he gets to meet the man whose grind he admires. That's the kind of leader Jameis Winston is. It's not likely the Giants, in my view, will give up Jameis Winston without asking a hefty price tag because that's too much talent and leadership in the room, and you need this man, in case Russell Wilson gets injured and goes down. Jameis Winston has a 2-year contract with the Giants. Russell Wilson has one. And Jackson Dart still has to learn the difference between reading signs to call a play on the sidelines as he did on Ole Miss and understanding the complex, mouthy verbiage that extends all the way back to the 1950s and Paul Brown. So, what would the situation be? Well, a lot of people, including myself, think that Tommy DeVito would be the odd person out. And the reason basically is that he is, and I'm not going to take anything away from a great quarterback, but he is someone who, while quite talented as a leader and an effective passer, lacks enough skill to understand how to direct a drive in a way where he stays within the play and he finishes the play. I'm not talking about somebody leads to a turnover. I'm simply talking about completing passes so that the organization wins the game. He has had great moments of splash plays. He's had great moments with the Giants, but when you have to compare him to a Russell Wilson or a Jameis Winston, he falters. Now, in the case of the Giants, he does have an advantage over every other quarterback. He's the only holdover. That's right. Tommy DeVito is the only quarterback holdover in the room. The only person that has played for Brian Daboll before, understands offensive terminology, knows the players, knows the region. You have 3 quarterbacks that are brand new. Russell Wilson is brand new to the Giants. Jameis Winston is brand new to the Giants. Jackson Dart is brand new to the Giants. And when you look at them again, what comes in, Russell Wilson has an excellent combination of leadership, ability, and mobility. Jameis Winston, has arguably the best arm, or not one of the best arms in the National Football League, bar none. And he's a great leader. He has that intangible of being a funny, engaging person. Giants general manager Joe Shane loves him. Just was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams talking about him 2 days ago. So all of the intangibles are there for Jameis Winston to stick around for a while and possibly become the number one. But if the Saints want him, my thought is they're going to have to give up a third round pick. I would say third or fourth round pick. I can't see them giving up a fifth round pick. If the Saints want him, I can't see the Giants saying, okay, we'll let you have him for a fifth round pick. Because you don't have a person who's your number two being in a position to be so easily switched over to another team. I just can't see that happen under circumstances. The question is, how badly do the Saints want Jameis? In my opinion, the Saints should want Jameis Winston very badly for a number of reasons. He knows the city, he knows the team, he's well loved. He's, again, the same set of reasons that point to his sticking around in New York also point to why the Saints should want him back. Right now, the Saints have no veteran presence in the locker room. And you're hearing this stuff, if you will, about, well, it's going to be Kirk Cousins. It's not going to be Kirk Cousins because the Falcons have paid a heavy price for Kirk Cousins. They're not going to just let him go for a song. If they do at all, they're going to have him as a backup because he's very capable, and it gives him a time to really rehabilitate because he didn't tell the truth, Kirk Cousins, about his injury situation, and the Falcons found out about it late. It was a very bad look for the young man that, fortunately for him, hasn't become the story about him nationwide through the NFL. Okay? But it's at the point where I think more and more people understand that his time in Atlanta didn't go the way Atlanta expected it to go through no fault of their own. And the reason why they went and got Michael Penix because they realized at the last minute, hey, we're not getting in Kirk Cousins the quarterback in the kind of condition we thought he was in. So for everybody who would say, because I kept saying, they're doing this, they're talking about the Falcons, because they discovered something that they didn't know before. And they discovered it literally at the last minute with respect to the draft and said, okay, so what do we do? But the handwriting was on the wall. Cousins was rolling out with pain. These were during the mini camps. He was not as mobile. And if you have the drop back, reportedly, it's all reported. I wasn't at the camp to see it, so this is reported. But when he dropped back, he was fine. It was the lateral movements that where the problems came in, okay? Lateral movements. So Kirk Cousins is in some hot water there because there are people who here, I should say, in Atlanta, who are really not happy with him now that they realize that he wasn't forthcoming with them about his physical condition. And they spent a lot of money for him. Kirk Cousins is, viewers, Kirk Cousins at $40 million a year puts, because of his $40 million alone, puts the Atlanta Falcons payroll at the highest level, the highest in the National Football League, the highest. And yet, he's on the bench number 2. So my point is that the Falcons really have a situation that to the outside person would seem confusing. What do you do? But the Falcons have made the internal decision to keep him as number 2 because he's a Christian, a great mentor to Michael Penix, who is a phenomenal talent, and he's already getting paid. And there that is. And so Kirk Cousins is literally going to stay there until the Falcons decide what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins. And he simply has to sit back and enjoy the ride. So there's that situation. And coming back to Jameis, his situation is that he really should have been the quarterback of choice of the Browns, but the Browns can never seem to make up what they want to do at quarterback anyway. And they have a crowded room again with they just brought in Joe Flacco. They signed him. Then they drafted Dillian Gabriel inexplicably. And then they have Kenny Pickett, who was with the Steelers at one point. And and then they drafted Shedeur Sanders, and who was outperforming everybody? And Ricky Camp is Shedeur Sanders. And here come the veterans. And everyone can't wait till training camp to see how well Shedeur Sanders does against his veterans. And then, of course, here come the, 3 preseason games we are going to see. And it's certain he's going to get some action there. So, but think of it. In his short time when Jameis was with the Browns, he was responsible for 2 of their 3 wins. And he's always wanted to start. So this situation in New York is more stable for him. It gives him a better opportunity to start. But then again, as I say, the Saints could come calling. But if they do, they're going to have to pay the Giants a hefty price. My prediction. Subscribe to the Vlog Report with Zenny62. And bookmark NFL News by Zenny62.com. Thanks.